It was a great advertisement for Silent Hills, and it was a cultural fuck.
Cultural fuck.
Video game prices are at an all-time high, and in an online marketplace that's growing ever more saturated, would some free samples really be such a bad idea?
Nope.
Whether all your friends and your favourite reviewers are recommending a game or not, sometimes you just need to try a game before you feel like you can actually buy it. But with your hard-earned cash potentially at risk on a bad purchase, how can you be sure that the game is actually worth it?
Back in the olden days, demo discs were widely available to the gaming public. They came attached to gaming magazines, and you could experience some of the latest games completely free of charge. It was a great way for players to try out games they were interested in, or sometimes games that they had never heard of before. Demos can prove useful for developers in persuading gamers to purchase the full product when reviewers and critics can't.
You look at the demo store on the PlayStation Store, just to give an example. There's a very limited amount of demos since the store started like 3 years ago with the PlayStation. Half of them are just not for the big AAA titles like they would have been on those kind of software discs that you get. You just don't get it anymore. You don't get big demos for, proper demos for big games.
Is that because that games are so big to download these days though? You think
Possibly.
about a demo might be like 5 gigs worth.
Yeah.
And a game that's like 50 gigs. It might even be more than that. I think, is that a sign of the times?
Practicality,
Yeah, maybe it's that.
Some of the bigger developers have become lax on demos for games and have started relying instead on bullshots, advertisement campaigns, and heavily doctored trailers instead of letting people see what the game's like for themselves. They want us to imagine and anticipate what their games are like without actually letting us see them for ourselves. That could indicate that some companies are just insecure about their titles, lacking the confidence they need to show their game off for free. After all, you might put potential customers off buying it if it's just not the game that they were expecting.
You think about No Man's Sky. Would Hello Games have allowed people to play for free before they decided to buy it?
Well, yeah, probably not.
Although the first 3 hours were the best, so
that is true. Actually,
the demo would have been the best format of the game.
Like a timer, like an hour-long timer, because the game is amazing for an hour.
Yeah, that's it. Some companies like Bethesda have decided to take a stance recently where they will not even give out review copies of the game prior to launch. So without reviews, the only way to find out what a game is like on day one is to buy it for yourself. It looks like companies worry that gamers will feel a title is not as good as they promised. That could kill the momentum of their tireless, expensive marketing campaigns. So for me, maybe it's just a sign of the times and where the gaming industry is right now. The fact that publishers rely on deception to sell you a game, and if they actually were honest and give you a preview of the game, they wouldn't sell so well.
They spend so much money on it, don't they, on all the marketing and everything. There's so much investment in it. Because the industry is so big now, it's certainly bigger than it was back in the 90s when we had these demo discs and stuff. Yeah. It's so much bigger now, there's so much more money at stake. Giving away a free demo could just undermine all that money that you spent on marketing. Could undermine all of that. But sometimes showing people what your game is all about could be a good way to win over your audience. Doom not only had a multiplayer beta, but also a single-player demo earlier in 2016. Yeah, the multiplayer beta was not so hot, but the single-player demo garnered a lot of positive feedback from critics and fans alike. Then, episodic titles like Life is Strange, for example, have offered up the first episode for free in the past, and this has secured some further sales of a game that many people would not have taken a punt at.
Demos could of course be used to show off a game's best bits by offering a carefully curated experience that highlights the strengths of a game and influences buyers into purchasing the full price game based on the very select offerings of the demo. I mean, have you ever watched the trailer to a movie and felt like it showed off all the best bits? And then when you pay to go and see the rest of it at the cinema, you left feeling as empty as your overpriced popcorn packet because all the good stuff was given to you in the trailer.
This attitude isn't so good for us as gamers, but it makes a lot of business sense. If you can pick out the awesome bits of your game, the things that you know will sell your game, you can choose that. You don't have to give us the first hour of the game. You can choose something that's halfway in that you think is quite good. You can show us that bit, and then that paints a very positive picture of your game.
The one that springs to mind would be the Outlast 2 demo that we played recently, where it seems like they've sewn together different parts of the story into one demo. They're showing you kind of the best bits or some parts of the game that
feels curated, doesn't it? Because you get some different experiences in a short amount of time.
At one point you go down a well and you end up in like an air vent. Yeah. Like, it's not exactly seamless, but
there's some hard edits in there, isn't there? Of course, demos aren't the only example of free gameplay that's available to us these days. Free-to-play weekends and even free-to-play weeks are more and more common as publishers try to stimulate sales of their games, usually a long while after launch. MMORPGs have been notorious for using free trials as a way of getting people hooked for years, but now that strategy has reached outside of pay-monthly titles like World of Warcraft and into the traditional AAA business. Just look at the latest Call of Duty. Activision let players have 5 free days with Call of Duty Infinite Warfare just before Christmas, but why did they do this? Was it Christmas spirit? I don't think so.
Sales of Infinite Warfare had dropped 48% compared with Black Ops 3, and Activision had to do something, anything, to give sales a shot in the arm. Ubisoft did the same with The Division, offering the first free-to-play weekend in Ubisoft history that happened in mid-December. Plenty of games have been free to play for short periods of time over the years, and this has helped the likes of CSGO, Payday 2 and Left 4 Dead 2 stay on the Steam bestsellers list years after launch.
CSGO is in the top 10 best-selling games of 2016, a whole 4 years after release. Payday 2 The Heist still made the Steam top 100 after 3 years, and the daddy of them all seems to be Left 4 Dead 2, which is still in the top 100 after 8 years.
I picked up that car football game.
Oh,
what's the car football
gaming
game?
Channel. Rocket League.
I picked up Rocket League after a free-to-play weekend. I did the same with Payday 2 and CSGO as well. So it's a good strategy. I don't know why people don't take them up.
If you get that game in your hands and you get to play it, and it doesn't take long. But if you decide you like something, that's it. Your mind is made. So and they couple that with a deep discount as well.
Yeah,
so they offer you these free weekends. The game's on a less than half price price point. If you enjoy it, you're very likely to buy it, I would say.
Rocket League garnered incredible success after being released for free on PlayStation Plus in July 2015 and hosting multiple free-to-play weekends on Xbox and PC shortly afterward. Rocket League is more popular now than ever and has not faltered due to the clever free-to-play deep discount combo and the constant stream of new and often free DLC.
And a demo is just that, a demonstration of the game, letting the game speak for itself. While the traditional demo as we think of it may be a rarity these days, it still certainly exists in other forms. Free trials, free weekends and free-to-try promotions still give us a taste of some games without us having to commit any money. But it's just nowhere near as widespread or ubiquitous as the old traditional demo we used to love in the 90s and early 2000s.
One other point I want to make is that everyone who has a Steam account and plays games on a PC essentially gets free demos to any single game that they like, as long as you've got a credit card, obviously. You just download the game, play it for 1 hour and 59 minutes within 1 week of time, and then refund. It's that simple. I do it all the time. It's that easy. Just guys, if you're not making use of this feature, the Steam refunds, do it. 100%.
You're allowed now. It's totally cool.
That's part of the terms now. You can do it.
It's easy as well.
With the advent of early access titles and paid access to multiplayer betas, we have to wonder, is it possible we will ever see demos as we knew them making a return? It's just too risky for a company to give us free early access to the game when they're spending so much time, money and effort on getting us all excited for it. Marketing campaigns are big and expensive. A bad demo could torpedo all that in an instant. But there is one argument in favour of the demo, a big, powerful argument that publishers would do well to listen to.
When Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro's terrifying demo for the now cancelled Silent Hills arrived on the PS4, the gaming community just went wild. It was an incredible gaming experience, long enough to feel satisfying and engrossing, short enough to keep us starving for more, and massively excited for what the full Silent Hills game could be. The drama that unfolded afterwards with the game's cancellation and Kojima's departure from Konami is now a well-known saga and frankly an embarrassment to Konami as a company. But that PT demo is a holy relic of modern gaming history now. It was pulled from the PlayStation Store and anyone who did download it only to delete it later on can never re-download it again. It's gone. Only those who still have the game on their hard drive can ever play PT again. It was a terrific, memorable experience that had the internet chatting away for weeks after release. It was a great advertisement for Silent Hills. It was a cultural phenomenon. and it was a demo.
So there you have it, guys. That's what we think about demos. Are they dead and buried, or will they be making comebacks? Should they be making a comeback? Let us know down in the comment section below. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button. If you fancy checking out some more of our content, you can click the screen roundabout here. We will see you again in the next video. Until then, bye for now.